Well, hello there, everyone. It is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It is so great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life. I really do appreciate it. And I hope that you guys are enjoying all the great content that I produce here and that it is allowing you to become an even better version of yourself. Guys, we are on the air hell, every single day. If this is your very first time here, I want to take the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to say thank you. And on top of thank you, I want to say welcome. If you've been here many times before, I want to say thank you, but I also want to say welcome back. It is always great to have people on here that really appreciate the quality and content that I produce. That means a lot to me, guys. So I really do appreciate that and that you've decided to be here and do all this great stuff with me and become a better version of yourself because I think that makes a real difference in life when you can actually get a little bit better than you were before. I know sometimes people are saying to me, John, this doesn't make sense. But the truth of the matter is, uh, it does make sense if you are intentional. Okay. So that's an important thing, guys. Really, really important to understand and to know that this can help you become really, really good. But I know a lot of people out there saying, "Me, John, I don't quite get it. I don't understand like why something's not working." And I think that's an important thing for a lot of people, to know. And so when I say, we're here for you to help you become better, this is a journey, right? We don't do this all overnight. And like I said, if you're coming back here, I do want to thank you very much. And of course, I want to say welcome back. It's always great to have people here that really appreciate the quality and content that I produce here. So I say thank you to all of you. Again, from the bottom of my heart, we put on some amazing shows and amazing content here for you guys so that you can take this information and you can become better, right? You can become better every single day of your life. The show is based around motivational topics. For those of you who don't know, I just became an author not too long ago, actually, the 17th of April. So, yeah, lots of great stuff happening there in my book. It's called Drained to Driven. And so, again, I am really, really grateful for everyone here that has, been supporting me and doing all this great stuff. I really, really do appreciate that, guys. Really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So, guys, I want to take the opportunity again to say thank you and welcome. If you want to check out all of my great content, you can always go to believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations, which you can do, incidentally, guys, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. Yes. Great to be with you. So, it's every Saturday, we start a brand new master topic, and then we finish up on the week on a Friday. So we go Saturday to Friday. That's how we work. And so, each day I have a granular topic, which is based on the master topic of the week, which we'll get into in just a second. But again, thanks everyone. If you're thirsty, if you're hungry, feel free to go grab that. I don't want anybody to be parched or hungry while they're here. So definitely go grab whatever you need to and come on back to the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Inspirations for Your Life. In case you did not know, you are on the Inspirations for Your Life channel. This is Series 5. It is show 19, guys. It is episode 6. And it's actually Series 5, show 19, excuse me. Yeah, episode 6. When Stability Returns. By the way, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student, passionate lifelong learner, and yes, now I'm very grateful to be a published author. Yes, it is so great to be here with all of you and welcome. Thank you so much for choosing to be with me again on another Inspirations for Your Life show. So, ladies and gentlemen, stability does not arrive suddenly. It's built through systems alignment, the behavior consistency, and internal control, returning step by step. Now, when disruption fades, structure begins to rebuild. Yeah. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, John, this isn't working the way I want." And the reason that's happening is because you are getting stuck. Okay. And it's okay to get stuck, but we have to get ourselves unstuck, right? You ever had your car get stuck in the mud or stuck in the sand or stuck somewhere? It's okay that that happens, but we have to learn to become better so that doesn't happen next time. I think that's the really big key. So number 1, guys, systems become reliable. Things stop breaking and start functioning again. I think that's a big important point. And number 2, guys, thinking becomes clear. Okay. Mental noise reduces and logic, well, it just sort of returns. And I think that's an important piece. Number 3, emotions stabilize and reactions settle and balance returns. It returns. So that's something, again, that a lot of people don't really understand. They think it's going to happen like now and they've got to do everything like right this moment. But the trick is that it's about being observant and about noticing the changes. A lot of times subtle. And these subtle changes will actually improve the quality of your life and the quality of other people's lives every single day. All right, guys, number 4. Number 4 is decisions improve, and choices become faster and they become more accurate. Okay. They don't just become easier. You get more into a groove or a flow. And when you get into a rhythm, well, things just naturally flow, kind of like a river flows down a bank, right? Number 5, behavior becomes consistent. Actions stop fluctuating. When you're consistent, you can get things to be on a certain plane. And when things are consistent and they can be repeated, you can do a lot of stuff, guys. You can just keep doing things over and over and over again. And I think that is very important for a lot of people to realize that concept. Number 6, guys, structure holds firm. Daily systems stop collapsing. Okay, they stop collapsing. Focus becomes natural. Attention no longer feels forced. No longer forced. Number 8, execution smooths out. Tasks flow instead of resisting. Okay. Number 9, growth becomes steady. Growth becomes steady. And progress, ladies and gentlemen, stops spiking and it stabilizes for us. It stabilizes. And so when things stabilize, we get this sense of calm. We get this sense of now being in control, not out of control, but in control. Number 10, energy becomes balanced. No more extremes, just control, right? Number 11, confidence stabilizes and the belief becomes consistent through the repetition. Through the repetition. That's an important point, guys. That's an important point. So, number 12, discipline becomes automatic. Structure replaces the effort. Structure, not the fact that you're putting in more effort. The structure is what replaces it. Okay. The structure is what replaces it. And I think that's an important point that many people forget is the structure is what allows speed to happen. When you do things more intentionally, you will find that you're going to not make mistakes. You're going to be doing things the right way the first time. Number 13, guys, identity aligns who you are and it matches what you do. Now, you might not get it right the first time, and it's perfectly okay to get it wrong the first time. Nothing wrong with that. I think these are important things for us to understand and to realize. Number 14, habits reinforce success. Repetition strengthens positive behavior. Okay, repetition gives us confidence, gives us a knowing, and now we can go ahead and just do something. So I think that's an important piece. Number 15, results become predictable. Yeah. And outcomes stop feeling random, right? You're doing something for the right reason. Number 16, control strengthens and external chaos has less impact now. And I think when it has less impact, we're like, wait, it doesn't feel like it's overwhelming me anymore. But I know how a lot of people will say, John, this is hard. I don't necessarily get this. And it's not that you don't get it, it's that you're scared about taking the next step. The next step could be very daunting for a lot of people, right? I think that's a very important thing. When it becomes daunting, it's like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? It's not the time to freak out, guys. Not the time to freak out. It's the time to take a breath. It's the time to step back. Okay. That's important. Okay. That's important. Number 17, direction stabilizes and you know where you are going. But sometimes we're second guessing ourselves. Okay. And second guessing ourselves can lead us into more challenges because we undo the confidence that we already built. So direction stabilizes and you'll know when you're going, okay, when that happens. But don't expect it to happen like in the blink of an eye. Don't expect that. Number 18, clarity becomes constant. Understanding no longer comes in waves. No longer in waves. It comes because now we understand. Now we know the way. Okay? Now we know the way. And I think that's important. And some people say to me, John, I don't get this. But then they panic when they can't get what they want because they feel out of control. They feel out of control. And being out of control, I think, is something that's very, very important. Um, and I think sometimes people will say, this isn't the right thing. But it's the way of doing things over and over again, right? The way of doing things over and over again. And that way, I think, makes people more in tune, more in alignment. Number 19, guys, momentum holds and progress continues without us restarting, without us going back to the drawing board. I mean, yes, we could go back there, but we don't need to go back to the drawing board because why? We know enough. We know enough to be confident, to keep moving forward. I think that's a hard thing for a lot of people to grasp. But when you get a little bit of confidence, it's easy to get more confidence. Okay. The mistake is a lot of people say, oh my gosh. And I think that's important to understand. All right. That's important to understand. Number 20, progress becomes sustainable. Growth no longer burns out. We feel like we have energy. We feel like we're not like burning the candle at both ends. I'm sure you probably heard that analogy before. And it's not meant to confuse you. Okay? It's not meant to confuse you. What it is meant to do is it's meant to get you to realize one thing. Okay? And I think that's hard for a lot of people to realize. But the more they work at it, the more they become better at it over time. And I think that's something that a lot of people say to me, you know what? I think I know where I'm going, but then you know what? I don't know where I'm going. And it's not to get you confused, guys. It's because what you're doing is something that you're uncomfortable with. And I've said we got to practice getting comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the truth, guys. Number 21, fear decreases, uncertainty loses its influence. And I think that's an important thing for a lot of people. When that fear reduces because of now us knowing our path, that's pretty remarkable, guys. Number 22, awareness increases and you see systems instead of events. And systems make things easier. They make things more practical. But sometimes, guys, we get stuck on what that practicality is, and we find ourselves going through this very long thing. And the long thing is that most people feel that everything's going to happen like in day one. And when it doesn't happen in day one, they're like, "Oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? Right? How am I going to handle this?" And I think that's an important thing for a lot of people to realize is how do we actually do this? Number 23. Number 23. Number 23 is all about stability. Okay. And I can tell you, stability becomes lifestyle, structure becomes normal. Okay. And that's important. Okay. That's a very, very important thing for us to realize. Doing replaces the thinking. Doing replaces the thinking. And when we do, okay, um, we can we can do a lot of stuff, guys. Okay, we can do a lot of stuff. But I think sometimes people, they get stuck in that moment, right? They get stuck in what's happening. Number 25, guys, systems run smoothly, less friction in the daily operation. And again, that might sound crazy, but I'm here to tell you that it's not crazy. Okay. And maybe you're saying to me, John, like, I'm not getting this. Okay. Be aware of your surrounding and things will get easier for you. I promise you that. Number 26. Growth becomes consistent and there's no more stop and starts. The more that we stop, the more that we start, the more that things don't go the way we want them to go. Okay. I think that's an important piece, right? Important piece about growth. Number 27, guys, focus becomes the default and attention stays where it should be, because it falls into an alignment pattern. All right. It falls into an alignment pattern. And I think that's an important thing to realize. Number 28, success becomes repeatable. Outcomes can be reached over and over and over again. Number 29, stability locks in, no longer temporary. Okay? No longer temporary. Number 30, guys. Number 30 is control becomes internal. Control becomes internal and mastery shifts inwards toward us. Okay? But again, this does not happen in 5 minutes, guys. It takes time for us to acclimate, and we got to practice getting comfortable, guys, being uncomfortable. I think a lot of people don't like that. They don't like to be uncomfortable. They always want to be comfortable. So they're always going to be complaining. They're always going to be like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like they're like putting more panic in themselves. And I think that happens for a lot of people. Um, when I think about stability returning, I could talk about, breaking my tib and fib. When I broke it, it was like, what am I going to do now? Right? That was the question that was going through my head. What am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? And that's a hard thing to digest. I said I just got to take everything day by day by day. Day by day by day by day. It's important, guys. Very important to know that, to know what that stands for, and to be able to move from a point of being incapacitated, not able to walk, to now moving to a different plane, a different plane, a different insight, a different insight. That's important, guys. A different insight. And from that insight, I was able to change things around. I was able to figure out where I was going. I was able to slowly rebuild not just my leg, guys, but my entire life. My book talks about that. But to share this with you, it comes down to the fact that we need to be resilient all the time. Okay. We need to be resilient. And I think a lot of you are saying to me, John, I don't know how to do that. And it's the best way to be resilient is to do it when you need to be. Can you prepare to be resilient? You can, but when the situations has arisen and you have to be resilient, you rise to the occasion, right? Now, maybe you make some mistakes, but my leg, I didn't know what my tib and fib, I didn't know what to expect. All I knew is that it was not going to be easy for me. That was a given. When I thought about the fact of, having to get dressed every morning, move from a shower to a sponge bath, that was hard. Okay. That was hard. That was absolutely very, very hard. And I say that to you because that's the key. We might not know how to be resilient, but what we can do is we can experience resilience from what's going on in our lives. Okay. And what goes on in our lives may seem hard or confusing, just like a puzzle with a million pieces. Once we figure out where something goes and we get let's say our set of bearings of where we are, moving forward does not seem so impossible. But I think we try to master the entire puzzle in one day. And we try to do that. Guess what happens, guys? We get frustrated. We don't want to do puzzles anymore. We work from the corner. We work from different pieces we know. We work with what we have. And then we build it from there. And that's not the easiest thing, guys. I got to tell you. Breaking a tib and fib was not easy to recover from. I was very blessed from my creator that, I was spared from any of the discomfort and pain. The discomfort I had was more emotional, as also was the fact that I could not walk, you know, but I was spared from all pain. So I was very grateful for that. In the moment I broke the tib and fib, it was like this adrenaline kicked in that blocked all the pain in my leg. That was amazing how that happened. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know something. Stability is not luck, it is a structure that is finally aligned. And if it doesn't align the first time, it might take a few times, but that's okay. When systems, behavior, and identity align, control stops. Let me say that again. When systems, behavior, and identity align, control stops. And it stops being external and it becomes internal. And that is when life stops reacting and starts functioning with pure intention. Pure intention. Pure intention. So when the systems, behavior, and the identity align, the control stops being external. It becomes part of who you are. As I think about this and I reflect, you know, would I have done anything different? Um, as far as the broken tib and fib, I don't think the way I recovered could have been done any different. I thought it got done pretty well. There was some trials and tribulation, but I thought it went pretty well. Obviously, the thing would have been not to break my tib and fib, and it all happened because the grandfather of Hunter Mountain decided to give the resort away to his grandkids. They didn't know anything about business, money, skiing, resorts, hospitality. They went from a 5-star to a negative 5-star, and now they got sold. I think they sold to Peak Resorts or something. That's what he should have done in the first place. He should have never tried to give it to his grandkids because they didn't know anything. Sell it and give them the money, right? He said he had so many things that weekend. There was a little less than 1,000 people that went to the emergency room that weekend. Myself, one other person didn't have surgery. If you want to know more about why I didn't have surgery, read the book. But I can tell you this. I had to fight to not have surgery. There's a saying that goes, don't take my kindness for weakness. And I want to turn this around and tell you, don't take the weakness that I appear to have as license to go against me. Okay? I think that's a very important thing that a lot of people just don't seem to realize. They don't seem to understand that. It was personal for me. It was very personal. And that personal moment said to me, John, you're going to get through this. Of course, with the grace of God and our Lord, I did. But it was not easy. It wasn't easy, guys. It was not easy. Not painful, but it was just different. It's the best way I can explain it to you guys. It was different. Have you ever had to do something whereby you knew you had to do it? You weren't crazy about it, but you did it because you knew if you got through this, you'd be able to do other things that you wanted to do. I knew that I couldn't go anywhere in life, okay, without getting my leg healed. That was a given. And so I had to have self-control. I had to have self-control. And that's an important thing. But sometimes we want to give up. We want to move faster because we think that our self-control will just happen. It doesn't. Does it come from motivation? It can start there, but it really has to come from discipline, which comes from your core values. Comes from your core values. So motivation is great, but it's the discipline that gets us on track to be where we want to be. The discipline keeps the motivation rolling. The discipline keeps the motivation rolling. I think that's a very important thing to understand. It's the discipline that does it, not the motivation, guys. The motivation will wane sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening or watching Inspirations for Your Life. Be sure to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. We've been talking all about mindset shifts and personal growth and leadership and success mindset and life direction and self-development and inspirations that are not as hard as you think. You just have to start. A wise person said to me, John, before you can start the trip, you have to first take the first step. Before you can become successful, you have to take the first action. Even if it's a very small action, you have to take it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or a great rest of your evening. I'll catch you guys another show real soon. In the meantime, check out BelieveMeAchieve.com, and we'll see you soon. Be well, everyone.